Now let's take a look at how to create a 3D design. The first thing you'll need to do is to click on Designs, and then Create, and then 3D Design. This will open a new design for you. If at any time you need to get back to the home page, click the TinkerCad logo in the top left of the virtual environment. We're now going to take a tour of the workspace. You will see an auto-generated file name appear against each new design you create, and this will be the same for students. Click here to enter your own file name. It's useful to name it something ending in version 1, version 2, so you can keep a record of the iterative process. Along the top bar you'll see a number of icons, some of which are grey and some of which are black. This is a dynamic toolbar, so the buttons will be ungrayed as they become available. On the left hand side you'll see a view cube, we'll look at this again shortly, and various icons to change the view, to zoom in, zoom out, to fit the view. In the middle you'll see a blue and white grid called the work plane. This is where you'll create your designs. Think of it like a virtual piece of paper to start a drawing on, or the bed of a 3D printer or CNC router. On the right hand side you'll see 3 blue and white icons to create additional work planes, one to measure and one to add notes. In the bottom right hand corner of the work plane you'll see some options to change the work plane settings and the degree to which objects snap to the virtual grid. Underneath this you'll see a searchable library of shapes, starting with the default basic shapes. There are a few mouse controls you'll need to use and master to navigate this 3D space effectively. Right-clicking and holding and moving your mouse will orbit around. The mouse scroll wheel will zoom in and out of the area that your cursor is in. Holding and pressing the middle button whilst moving the mouse will pan from side to side. Left click allows you to select and unselect objects. You can also nudge shapes using the cursors on your keyboard. You will notice as you move around with the mouse, your moves are mirrored on the view cube in the top left hand corner. As you click on different parts of the view cube, it will jump to different views, for example the back, or the corner between the back left and top. Take a minute to explore the workspace, view cube and mouse navigation. We'll now look at how to create and modify a simple design and how to combine basic shapes. The first thing to do is to click and drag one of the basic shapes onto the work plane. When the object is selected, you'll see an expandable dialog box where you can change some variables appropriate to the shape. For example, for a box you can change the length, the width and radius. This box disappears when the object is not selected. When the shape is selected, you'll also see a number of interfaces appear around it. The white and black squares are called handles, and you can click and drag these to resize it in different directions. You'll see some curved arrows where you can rotate the shapes, and a black cone which allows you to move the object above, through or below the work plane. If you need to return the shape to the work plane, simply press D for drop on your keyboard. If you click on one of the handles, it will also bring up the exact dimensions which you can type into and change. Now try and use the box shape to create a cube 50mm by 50mm by 50mm. Now let's create a design made up of a number of other shapes. I'm going to create a simple house by adding a roof using the roof shape and a chimney using the polygon shape. You will notice as you drag your shapes in and align them onto other shapes that they appear to magnetize magically to surfaces. This is called the cruise mode, and you can turn it on and off using C on your keyboard. You can resize your shapes manually using the handles or by typing in specific dimensions as you need. The last thing I'm going to do is to create a small cavity for a porch. To do this, I will use the grey striped box. Being striped grey means it is a hole, so that when I intersect it with another shape and group them, it will remove that area that overlaps between the solid and the hole. To group the shapes, I can click and drag around them, or I can hold Shift on my keyboard and select the shapes by clicking on them one by one with my cursor. I can then group them using the now active group icon, or Ctrl+G on my keyboard. Now you have a design compiled of basic shapes, you can group them, which allows you to rotate, flip, resize, or arrange them as though they were a single shape or object. You can always ungroup them later on if you need to make any changes. When you group shapes, they will all change to be one colour. If you want to keep the original colour, just press the solid icon and choose multicolour. You can also try transparent to get a wireframe type view. Have a go at creating a simple design made up of basic shapes including holes. For example, a simple stool with a slot to carry it.